Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. You guys, we have to discuss that season finale of Sister Wives. The veil has completely been lifted on Cody's narcissism and emotional abuse, and it's really just on full display now. That I was so disgusted by his behavior, the way he talks about his children, the way he talks about Christine. We just have so much to talk about. Cody has destroyed this family, and it really all leads back to him, right? Because he's supposed to be the head of the family, and he has lamented in clips past that he has not taken on a more patriarchal role, and he shows favoritism to those family members that really just fan his ego, just think that he's just the sun, moon, and stars. That's why he favors Robin. That's why he favors Robin's children. And it's emotionally manipulative. It's emotionally abusive. This is just not a healthy relationship for including Robin and her kids. This is not a healthy relationship for anybody to be in. I wanted to highlight specifically things I noticed that Cody talked about and relationship dynamics that I noticed with parenting and with his marital relationship. So let's start with parenting, and this is something I just found so gross that he said.
And my older kids have to start realizing that my world doesn't revolve around them once they're adults. My obligation is to my minor children. And then my obligation is to those children who decide they're going to keep my rules and go to school. I can help them out any way that I can.
He all but says that he loves Robin's kids most because they are compliant. Janelle calls out, finally points out that Robin has kids the same age, adult age, that are not being pushed out because they're abiding by his rules. He also says that his responsibility is to his minor children and the children that are keeping his rules. What in the actual fuck? I mean, legally, when you sire a child, you do have a responsibility to them till they're 18. I would hardly consider him fulfilling his parental obligations when it comes to Truly and Savannah, who are still under the age of 18. Oh my God. And the fact that he explicitly says, I love my kids that listen to me, that obey me, that are compliant with my demands, no matter how extreme or ridiculous they are. Putting conditions on your love is extremely toxic and something that we've seen implied over the years, and now it's just explicitly stated. It's heartbreaking for his other kids that know that, I mean, and Christine said it herself, they're sick of how apparent his favoritism is. Gabe hadn't talked to his dad in 8 or 9 months. Are we to believe that he is fulfilling his obligations to Truly if he hasn't talked to Gabriel Garrison, or I'm presuming also Savannah, in 8 or 9 months? And parental obligations, if we want to call it that, in my opinion, extend far beyond anything monetary. It extends way beyond providing shelter and a roof over their head and food. It's about the emotional rearing of that child. It's about picking them up when they're down, encouraging them, steering them in a direction where they're gonna be a thriving adult. It's not just, I gave you a place to live and food to eat, so, the end. And I want to mention that this is also an extremely toxic relationship for Robin and her kids. Robin's kids, especially the older ones, have to be constantly walking on eggshells. They see what it's like to be on the other side of Cody's wrath, and you definitely don't want to go there. And if Robin is being truthful with how she describes, which I know it's been debated with, because we just don't know a lot about Robin's ex-husband, but if we're supposed to believe that he was like this really toxic person, that she had to get her kids adopted, then her older kids are looking at this like, this is all we have. This is all we have. Because additionally, Robin and Cody have not instilled life skills into any of these adult children in Robin's household for them to be thriving adults. We see Isabel, Aspen, Mariah, Hunter, Garrison, Gabriel, these other parents have all worked really, really hard to instill, you know, Hunter is at the Air Force Academy. That's a big fucking deal. So these kids, Cody should be really proud. These kids are growing up and thriving in spite of Cody, not because of Cody. And it's really a shame that Cody sees more value in kids that will just be his flock instead of raising up thriving adults. It's just really sad. And I feel bad for the children in Robin's household, because I can only imagine that they feel like they have no other option. In this episode, we finally see what we've known since November, when Christine made the announcement that she was leaving Cody. We see that Christine asks Cody to move out. She doesn't want him sleeping in her bed anymore.
Is the door just about the cat? And it's not about us having an intimate kind of side of our marriage. And he goes, I'm not really interested in that anymore. Anyways, like, I'm not interested in having an intimate marriage anymore. I don't like your behavior. We'll see if you can be a good sister wife and all this. And I'm like, okay, so you don't want us to have an intimate marriage? And he goes, no. And I'm like, that's not enough for me. I can't not have an intimate marriage. And he goes, people do it all the time. I have no interest in having a marriage. What, so he gets to have an intimate marriage with other wives, but not with me? And I'm, gonna have nothing for the rest of my life? I've known, it's not that I'm dumb. And he said a while ago that he wasn't attracted to me or anything. So I just thought that maybe it would get better. But it's over.
Some really disgusting things that I wanted to point out is Cody, again, with the conditions, putting conditions on his affection and his love. We'll see if you can be a good sister wife. We'll see if you can, court me back to this relationship, or whatever that bullshit was that he told Mary that one time. He flat out told her that he wasn't physically attracted to her. That is horrible. That is horrible. And he also says she murdered our intimacy with betrayal because she dared to talk about how unhappy she was with other sister wives. It's sad to me, because watching the show over the years, I feel like Christine was one of the biggest champions of polygamy and about this lifestyle. I mean, her opening tagline was, I wanted the family, not the man. And she was the one that raised everyone's kids. Like, she was doing like polygamy the way polygamy was intended, in my opinion. It was like, you rely on your sister wives. It was really telling to me, and I don't know if you as a viewer noticed or felt the same kind of guilt that I felt watching this montage of Christine several times over the years. Christine puts on such a brave front and such a jovial outward aura, that these multiple times that she has said how miserable she's been on camera with Cody, I've not registered that. And I feel so badly. It's been apparent for a long, long time that this relationship was utterly toxic. And he leaves this door open that, based on her behavior, if she can be a compliant sister wife, if she can just shut the fuck up and I don't know, get cuter, maybe he'll throw her a pity bang or something. Fuck off. What was also really telling to me was that Cody was absolutely stunned. He was shook. He said that he was dumbfounded when he goes into Christine's garage and finds all of his shit packed up. He thinks it's a game. He thinks that she's playing a game, but who's playing the game, Cody? You're the one telling her that she has to do X, Y, and Z in order for you to even think about looking at her romantically again. And she is just not down to be married. She's not down to be sidelined and watch you have a monogamous marriage with Robin. I think that Janelle, like, genuinely just, like, is cool, like, off doing her own thing and seeing Cody sometimes. That's why their relationship works. But Christine needs her love language is completely different, and she needs a lot more attention and one-on-one time than that. And this just is not, like, if these are the stipulations that Cody's putting forth, Christine has every right as an autonomous adult to say no thank you. And that's the problem with Cody. Cody cannot handle women who think for themselves. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I found this to be really eye-opening. I don't think editing is doing Cody's any favors anymore. They're just like, here he is, folks. Here he is. And we're really seeing the true nature of these relationships. And it's really sad. It's really, really sad. And there was something like sinister, like there was a vibe I was getting off of Cody when he was in the garage, like counting the boxes. And I'm like, this dude is like trying to swallow some serious rage right now. And like, it was good that he was alone and self-filming, because I think he was aware enough to like not pull the mask totally off. But there is some rage simmering like right at the surface level, and I don't want to be on the receiving end of any of that BS. So I'm so glad Christine got out. I also am so glad that we will have a tell-all. Now it's going to be this one-on-one format, which, you know, we'll see if that works. But, you know, we didn't get a tell-all last year, and that was a major bummer. So I'm glad we're at least getting a reunion of sorts. Additionally, on social media, both Peyton, Mary, and Robin have all confirmed that they are filming a season 17. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited. With Peyton is Christine's son. If they're filming, that means we're gonna see Christine life after Sister Wives, and I'm really excited. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.